Hello everyone, day 20, welcome back. There's some very cool things happening in the universe today. We have some planetary lineups that are happening, and for us here on the East Coast, Atlantic time, 11:45 tonight is when that lining up is going to occur, and it's a major shift for people. In the way the energy is going to flow. So today's a great day to talk about flow and balance and resistance, all kinds of wonderful things. So if you're on the Pacific end of the country, with a 4-hour time difference, you'd be looking at 7:45 tonight. So I'm just going to throw that out there, that if you have a chance to do a meditation tonight, 7:45 Pacific time, 11:45 Atlantic time, you'll be matching up with people all over the world who will be bringing in this new shift that's going to happen with the planets. So, okay, having said that, I know for some people it's still a challenge to try to get on right at the beginning. So I thought today what I would do is do a Sabre set for the flow part at the beginning. And I see that we've got Jeanette on there, so if Jeanette grabs her kitchen spoon, or if you've got your Sabre, I don't know if you have a Sabre in the house, but I just thought we'd do that kind of as the warm-up today, and then from there I've got my themes ready to go. So I'm going to put the Sabre into my left hand. If you've never done it before, then what you might want to do is just watch this one, just so you can see how it comes together. All right, and I'm just doing this until we get everybody here. And for those that are coming on, then being able to just connect in. And we're just going to use the Sabre as a warm-up today. And for those that are coming in, if you even just want to sit and you want to do some seated Danyus, get the flow going, that'll be great. So, I haven't done a seated Sabre for a while. I haven't even done a full Sabre for a little bit. I miss my bunches, meeting up with everybody, just to get us working through the sets. Okay, so we have done bits and pieces across the days. So I like to do this one as a sweep forward and then a spiral to go back. And then this is going to go onto the top, makes a little figure 8, which is fabulous. Comes through, fingers going to the top. And then this is going to come out the center. So go over, through the middle, grab the wrist, in for a warm-up, just so that we could have the opportunity to create some flow. Goes into the other hand. Hold the flowers. This is going to be strike the tiger. Hold the flowers. Strike the tiger. Two-handed chop. This is going to come up, and then it's going to take us over all the way around. That's going to sweep through and push out. This one we worked on last week, which is sweep up, sweep up, sweep up, sweep up. It's going to go all the way around. This one is a spiral. It's a little hard to do seated. sorry, went down that, forgot about the last part. And comes up. Okay, so I see a few names up there today. So I was just doing a Sabre set just so I could wait till everybody found the right location, etc. Then I could dive into the topic for today. So I was talking about flow. I was remembering Doug had sent a message, that was before he came out for a visit, and somebody had asked about push needle to sea bottom and behind the knee. What were the points behind the knee and what did they do? Why was push needle to sea bottom so important? And so today I was reminded of that just because I've been sitting a lot and my ankles been a little on the puffier side, and I had some cheese yesterday. That wasn't so great for my joints. And so I was thinking about flow and the way the water comes through and push needle to sea bottom. So there are 4 points that go behind the knee. Well, not really behind the knee. 1 point that comes in at the knee, it's just slightly below the knee, K10. This is a really valuable point. It's a great one to rub. If you put your hands over your kneecap and then just slide your thumb down, it's going to slide along the side and it's just going to stop right before your calf muscle. There's like a little indent there. If you start rubbing that little point, very often you can feel how tender that little point is. So that would be K10. So that is a fantastic spot to rub to get flow happening. You have behind the knee 2 points. They had different numbers depending on which Chinese medicine chart I was looking at. So those 2 points, when we do push needle to sea bottom, it pops them open. And then you have another one which is a little bit further over. And so across the 4 points, we end up with really being able to open up energy. Push needle to sea bottom happens on the right leg and not on the left, but we have other movements that happen on the left later that help to create that flow coming in the left, out the right. So that flow of energy of yin and yang. Okay, so I'm saying all that to you because when we go to do the movements today, we're just going to focus on the way that the foot works, the way the back of the knee is happening, the way that you're opening the back of the knee, and then through the movements that we do, how that can go from there. So I use Sabre because there's lots of spirals in there, and that gives us a chance to move the fascia. And the fascia works like layers, and they just kind of slide over each other, and the fluid passes between them, and so that helps us to open things up. And in Lok Hup, the first part of Lok Hup is all about the water wheel. It's all about getting that flow of energy to start to circulate through the system. So we were working on that yesterday. So I just wanted to bring in a few of the themes because I drew some cards this morning and then I had a couple exchanges with different people today and they all seem to tie into the same thing. Everything I've touched today has been on the same theme. So the cards I pulled today, one was Poise. Poise is prepare with stillness, self-control, and balance. So that'd be finding your center, know exactly where you are, and then go out from there. And then we have this one, which is perspective. Guard against a narrow perspective. Suppress your negativity. So if you want a flow to happen, if you start expressing in negativity, that's a block. So then you get a block. So you want to always have flow with what you're saying and what you're doing. And this one's resistance. So the power of the human spirit will not be restricted. So as soon as we let everything open to flow, all things are possible. So now some of you may think I'm talking to you because of what you might have experienced today, but actually everything I've touched today and all the people that I've conversed with, that's been one of the things. So today I was on a call with 47 people on Zoom, which was absolutely amazing. We were across North America and including into Europe. So that was really cool. And everybody was very open-minded and willing to accept the concepts we were talking about, which was great. So being able to get that started, 47 people, it was amazing. Okay, so let's see here. So Jeanette was doing her Sabre with a ruler. That works, that's good. Sometimes I grab the chocolate chip cookie spoon. but I happen to have my saber in the back today. So, okay, so let's get started. Let's do a Tai Chi set for your warm up now that we've got people on and joined in. And I'm going to put the saber away. If you have a chance to practice the saber, then, you know, it's on video there. Please do. And I still have some editing to do on the videos that we filmed in September. And there's for the longer sets, getting all the sets together and coordinated. And so I'm just working through the next set of videos. I released one today about leg strength. So I posted it on this page. So if you didn't see it, you can have a peek for it. Just to remind you about strength, because if we're all in our houses and not doing too much, not going up and down the stairs, that makes a big difference on how the brain functions and how the body functions. And so to try to, just to get that back in there, you can do it with donuts. Okay, so let's do the Tai Chi set. I'm going to do seated. You can do standing if you wish. All right, and let's put the bow in. And then let that go. Just sink right back into it. Okay, so we're thinking about poise, flow, possibility, lack of resistance. Fingers come in, hips are going to release. And as we worked on yesterday, moments where you paused, hands come back. So we have this expansion that happens, and then we have this moment where we reach the end, and then we transition to come back in, contraction. And then there's this pause, especially when you're seated, for it to flow back and forth. Palm to palm. Opens. Tanya, I saw your name up there. Hello, glad to have you. Missed you today. Not that the call I was on you could have been involved in, but was thinking of you because it was TT. Comes out. This comes back. Step up to raise hands. So the right hand is coming up. Sink. Open the tailbone, right up the spine. We have a flow that can go right up and travel to the top of the head. Right here. Expansion. Open the spine. Then you've got your spiral. And then brush knee. So be strum the pepa. So here we go. Tailbone's going to drop back just a little bit. Up through the spine. Open everything up. And then you've got brush knee. Expand. Bring that through. Oh, that's the best my shoulder has felt in days. I needed that saber set. And come through. Brush knee left. Spiral back. Belly leads you back to the front if you're working with belly. Spine opens. So many ways we can think about all this. Brush knee. Twist step. Hold the flowers. That's going to lift up through the spine. In. Out. Lift up through the spine again. Wipe the sleeve. And then you're just going to fall forward. Sleeve, two hands. That's coming up. Sink. Crosses over. That's got a lift that's going to come up. Open. Okay, so this would be the end of part one. So part two. So you're going to just sink back just a little bit. Carry tiger to the mountain. Into brush knee right. Palm. And then push out. That's going to come back around, goes right past lower dantian, up to make a T. Turn the hands, push through the foot, belly leads you across, belly leads you back. Turning the hand, got fist underneath elbow. Open. Up, and then this is going to go straight back, ward off monkey. Crack, crack. Comes up, sink straight back. Open, sink. White stork spreads wings. That's coming up. Just let that roll around. Brush knee. And I know that's a little bit further than we had practiced. So let's stop just right there. That gives everybody who's been on the calls a chance. That at least gives you the pattern up to there to practice. For those that know more, I sure hope you're doing 108 every day, because you know I am. I actually did Lok Hup this morning, is what I spent my time on. Okay, so let's go back and get some flow. We still need a little bit more flow, I think. So let's do, I'll do the standing version this time instead of seated. And let's just bring everything back in again. So commencement. And then this is just going to sink. So right down into the feet. Open the back. Right foot turns. And then you've got your reach out. Hold the ball. Left grasper's tail. Hold the ball. I'm just going to run out of room, so I'm just going to move my feet. That's turning at the wrist. Let that come back, palm to palm. I see Ruth's name there. Wonderful to see you, Ruth. Comes back. Sinking back. So the right foot's going to turn, whip to one side, sink. Place the foot, comes around. Into the right, into the left, heel goes out. This is going to sink back. Foot, hand, glide across, and then we're going to go up. White stork spreads wings. Let that come unwinding. Step, brush knee. Half a step, heel goes out. Strata paper. Open the hands, brush knee left. Twist step, brush knee right. I'm going to be right with the chandelier today. Twist step, brush knee left. Half a step, I'm going to just shuffle back. Strum the paper, open the hands, brush knee left. Twist step, hold the flowers, that goes up. Sink and drop the tailbone, step patois, in, out. Wipe the sleeve, sinking right down on that one, stepping through. Comes back. Two hands, all the way around. And then sink. That's a high sit, over to the left, just the foot. Expand, turning that left toe. Sink back to open the back and brush knee. Okay, so now just thinking about flow. Expand, sink, pushing through, sink. Open, two hands. Comes back. This goes whip out, diagonal. So we're going to make the T, sink. Step and come across. Step into what would be the left front corner. And then we have fist goes underneath the elbow. As the palm turns to go out, you sink. It's linked together. Step. That's going to come through. Open the back, let the tailbone expand. Comes back through. Tailbone expands. Through, open, so here's flying at a slant. So the foot goes back, you sink down and to the right, over to the left, and then reach the hand out flat. Half a step, heel goes out, sink. Foot, hand, glides across, and then white stork spreads wings. That's going to come back down, and then brush knee. So high pat on horse is what's next. We'll just stop there. That's where we've kind of reviewed up to that point. Okay, so let's close off with a bow at the end. We've been running through the sets. Bring some gratitude in. If you'll notice, you have straighter knees there, not locked knees, but straight knees. Sink. And so when we go to do the bow, even though our focus really is about the gratitude and the compassion with which we do Tai Chi, we have an open flow that we pop open right at the very beginning of the set, just by having our knees straight. Again, they're not locked up, they're just straight. So when you go down, you have both of them, the 2 points on either side at the back of the knee, lengthen or pop or extend, and then you start a flow. Okay, so let's just do the bow. And we don't talk about that very often, so let's do that. So if you bring the hands together, gentlemen grab the right thumb, ladies grab the left thumb. Hands come together like an arrow, and then they fold over each other. So if you look into your thumb, you've got a yin-yang symbol. Okay, so now what happens is there's a circle. Your hands create this little, create this little circle like this. Okay, now I'm exaggerating it so you can see that it's there. But what happens is you bring it together, and right as this goes together, you sink. And as you sink, lower dantian opens. So now when you go to do the bow, the hand will come up as you go forward, starts the circle, down to pop open behind the knees, and you can pull the hands in and finish the circle off if you like, coming up the front, and then let that sink on the end. Or, do it again, bring the hands together. You've got that whole circle coming around and through. You hit the bottom with those straight legs and then push into the feet. And the arm follows its way right back up and then sink. So the flow actually goes down and then reverses. Either way is fine. My recommendation is if you have a really bad lower back that has trouble tightening all the time and locking up on you, then you may not want to bring the hands back out. You may want to bring the hands in instead. That might be much easier for you. I'll give you a little bit more flow. Okay, so there's the spot where we can open behind the knees. All right, let's find some other spots. So I'm just going to grab a chair and show you from seated. So I know I talked about this before, but I think people just forget. So when we do the seated foot exercises and we pump the foot, we have that little pump that is on the heel on the inside. Okay, so I'm just going to do a little bit of demonstrating. So you've got the ankle here, and if you go down towards the gray part of my sock, that soft spot of the heel on the inside, right in around the ankle, kidney meridian runs through there, and it goes right around the ankle and then goes up the leg. So you have that moving when you pump here, but you also have the blood and lymph flow. There's a whole mechanism that's right around this space of the heel that then feeds underneath the bottom of the foot. So while you're doing this, you actually create the pump, and the pump is sending all the fluids back up to the center of the body. Okay, so we don't really accomplish it. We accomplish it a little bit with the way we turn the foot while we're doing the standing form, but seated form, we can get at it much easier. So that's where the seated foot exercises can be very helpful. Just to remind you how to pop that open. The other is, while you're seated here, since we're talking about flow, a lot of times we'll pull our feet up underneath our chair, and you may end up with, you're on the ball of the foot, or crossing them over. All kinds of options that people do, but it blocks up behind the knee. So we've just finished the toe taps, but now if we were to go side to, excuse me, the hiccups, side to side, if you feel, usually we talk about put your hands on your knees and you can feel the muscles and the tendons, everything working here, but if you actually put your hands behind the knee, you can feel how the tissue moves on the back of the leg. And those 2 points, you can feel it's kind of like doing this, like a jigsaw. So it's going back and forth. Okay, and then if you put the feet back and then twist here, that changes it. But what also changes is what goes on the leg there. So there's a shift that happens in that spot. Okay. So now you have the flow coming up the legs all the way up into the hip. And then you need the hip to release. So that's where you pop open that line and then pop open this line. Open, open. And as you do that, the hips are shuffling back and forth like this. And that changes the way all the muscles within the hip can move. Also changes the way the muscles and the way the shoulders function. And changes the way the TMJ works. So sometimes people forget about that. That is also a huge joint, and it's related to how tight your hips are, how tight your jaw will be. So now we go heel, in and out. So this changes the angle a little bit. So here you can feel how it's pulling in this way, it's opening across the back. Okay, and again, if we talk about fluid, bladder meridian runs from the top of the head over the back, 2 channels down the back. So my fingers represent 4 spots coming down, and those are all part of the way the water element moves down to your back. Phew! Thought I was going to lose everybody. Okay, I didn't do anything. I went to pause. So this part here, back behind the lower back, starts to move a little bit, and that's going to help the fluid try to get through the core parts up the back and up to the top of the head. Okay, so if we now go to this part, heel, toe, heel, slide the foot out. There's a pointed toe. Pointed toe means we're pulling across the top, so that K10 on the side, as well as what you have along the outside edge on the other side, are all pulling. So what we're doing is we're creating the openness, a flow through there. Now if you wanted to exaggerate it, you could go heel, pick up the toe, heel. So slow it right down. Sometimes I go quick just from my tap feet, but heel, toe, heel. You can feel how that's a lot different. How you want to move, heel, toe, heel. So just in case that's a challenge for you, you can change speed easily. Okay, so now this time I'm going to slide out with the heel. And the pull of the heel, you can feel it on the calf muscle. It's going to come right up the back of the knee, and then we change that dynamic. So we're coming through, heel goes out, sliding through. Heels out, sliding through. Okay, let's do one more set. And last one. Awesome. Okay, so now we have ball of the foot. Placing the ball of the foot on the floor is inspiration to the end of the kidney meridian. Drop the heel. And you have to pick up the foot, put it down, and then drop the heel in order for that to happen. That inspires kidney meridian to also open, and that pumps, K1 pumps all the other systems. So we're giving everything a boost with this. So when I started to talk about the flow and balance today, and about where we have resistance, or we have block in flow, now you know why I brought all those topics in, because you can see how they just come right through the whole body. All these actions do so much. Okay, so we're just going to run bottom of the feet. and we have that flowing. Okay, so now I talked about bladder, over the top of the head, 2 channels that run down the back of the spine, comes behind the knee, down the leg, and then out the outside edge of the foot, comes out 4th toe. Then it turns to come in for kidney, which will come in from K1, which is the bottom of the foot. It'll wrap around the ankle, come up to that K10 that I talked about, come through the center, and it comes up to K10, which stops up here. So the reason I'm telling you all of that is because let's do some seated to standing Danyus and just think about the flow of bladder and kidney in that process, okay? So we have done tracing all the meridians, but today what I'm going to do is just focus on thinking about how to open up the flow. So this is going to come back, and we're going to balance on the foot. So I just slide my ankles back just a bit so I could balance. That comes back, and then this is going to go up and out, and then sink back down. Ooh, I missed these. I think we did just seated Danyus the other day, but I really enjoy seated to standing. Okay, so let's do another set. And that's going to sink. And again. Oh, that's wonderful. Okay, so now we have the flow coming through there. You go back now and rub that K10. So remember, you wrapped your hand around your kneecap and then slid your thumb down till it fell into the hollow just above the calf muscle. If you rub there now, you may notice it's not as tender as it was the last time you rubbed there. Definitely not as tender, which is fantastic. Wonderful. Okay, so look at the difference we made. We were just playing with the feet a little bit. Okay, so let's take push knee of the C bottom, just explore that one a little bit. So we have, let me think here, brush knee. We have brush knee left. And then we do a half step with the right foot, and you pull the right hand back. It turns, so it runs parallel, pinky to the floor. And then the fingers turn, so the right hand's going to go to the floor, and the left hand encircles the right wrist, but doesn't touch it. There's space there. And then the left foot just comes back just to hold for balance. And what we're going to do is go down, not with a locked knee, a straight knee, but we're just going to fall forward and just let the body find expansion. Find expansion, push through the foot, and that brings you rolling back to sink. Now your palms are facing each other, but they're not touching. And then when you step with the left, they expand and open and separate. So you have new options of way the energy is going to flow. Okay, so let's try that again. You have your brush knee left, and then half a step, push, comes back, fingertip goes towards the floor. You're focused on that right leg opening, push into the feet. That comes up, sink into your right leg, drop, step, and this is going to come out. Okay, and one more time. So brush knee, half a step, sink, push into the foot, sink, and then let that come out. Okay, so what I found with that one is easy. Back of the leg feels fantastic, but my left side of my hip at the back was starting to get a little tight. So obviously there's an imbalance in there. That's going to mean, for me, up the left leg, down the right, there's not going to be a flow because I can already feel there's a little bit blocking in there. So let's move from push needle to C bottom over to Lok Hup. And this is what we practiced the last couple of days. So let's see if we can open the flow, which is the point of this first bit. So it's stop the card and ask for directions, which is, do you wish to live or die? So you wish to choose healthy choices or unhealthy choices, and then you know what your results are. But out of that is, it's actually an establishment of the water wheel, the flow of energy that's going to come through, and whether there's a block or a flow. So how it can flow is going to come up in the left, pass through the body, and go down out the right. And what we're trying to do is create that flow. Okay, so I'm going to do it as standing first. You need to sit. You know everything is straightforward, and you also know it's from the sit bone to the, from the sit bones to the tailbone. That's what I wanted to say. Okay, so we have palms coming up. Now we're thinking about flow this time. So you have all the expansion and the power of the forces, but then everything is opening for flow. It's going to come through. Palms connect to the floor. Connection to the ground. Hips turn and change. There's an adjustment, and that adjustment will come right through your jaw. That will affect your hearing, your swallowing, your taste, your smell, sync. This is going to come up in the front. We went right up through the spine, out through the top of the head, and then this goes sync. This is going to flow back. Right foot's going to turn, sink back, place the foot, and this goes palm up, sink, wipe the sleeve, step, and this goes to the brow. Remember that you're leaving it out in front, so it's within the field, so it's not so close to the body. Brush the knee, hold the ball, step to the corner. So this is going to go to the brow, wipe the sleeve, comes down to the knee, and then you're going to go wiping the sleeve and your hands pass each other. Right hand stays palm down, left hand is palm up. This is going to transfer through the feet and the hands, up to the top. Open the hands, sink, and then we come out from the center, push, roll. Right hand is going to come towards the front, you sink back, palm goes up, sink back on the left. Now you're going to walk through the feet. This is walking through K1. So this is changing the way the flow happens, coming through the bottom of the feet. Sinks back. You come around, the hands turn, they stay horizontal to the floor, sink on the right, step with the left and do a toyu into that left foot, step pakwa, parallel, this goes up, open the fingers, step with your right foot, this is going to come down into your right foot, and watch this, you're going to spiral up, open behind the knee, spiral back down, and then reach out. And that's where I'll stop just because I'm running out of room there. Okay, so that last little part, if you noticed, you came down. Okay, so you come down, palms are pushing down to the floor. There's your connection to the floor. You sink down into the right foot, put the left foot just for balance, and then there's this push out of the right, which spirals you to the left. So you open the back of the knee, you spiral, and you squeezed everything right in that movement. And then you sink back down, and then step and push through, and this has another spiral that happens in it. So you go, pop it open, spiral it, wring it out, let it go, pop it open, wring it out again. It's just fantastic. So if there's a block on the right side to let the energy flow through, to let the water element relieve any pressure, you're finding it right there. Okay, so let's do that again. Okay, so you're putting your right foot down, sink. I had Tai Chi in my head. Okay, plant the left foot. And now this is going to go push out of the right. The hands separate because of the spiral. And then you drop back into that right leg because of the spiral. Step, and this is going to push out. Okay. All right, one more time for that. So you came down, push down into your right leg, palms connected to the floor, plant the left, push out of the right, spiral it. Spiral back down into the right, step, and now as you push to spiral that right leg, you're going to go down into the left, that right hand is going to come out, and that's where that tailbone, there's just this nice little movement that comes through the shoulders and the hips, spiral, let it go. Okay, so we have that little piece in there. I just wanted to point that part out. Okay, so the water wheel gets all set up in the Lok Hup set. Then you have these little places where the knees open, pop the water, get the fluid moving, and then you have the spiral action. And again, for those that weren't on the call last little while, if I was going to move my weight into my right foot and I'm standing on it and it's coming to the front, it would be spiraling clockwise. And then to move the power out of that leg, it would be spiraling counterclockwise. And all the tissue works as a unit to make that action happen, and that means the fascia is wringing out the water and opening the space. Wring it out, open the space. Trying to get that movement of flow. Really, really important for clearing out toxins. Okay, so we got all of that in there. We've got popping behind the knee. We have the effect that it has on your jaw, your shoulders, your hips, even down to the ankles and the wrists, because you're talking about joints. Okay, and you're changing the way the tension is within the space and how it opens. Okay, so you can just kind of relax through all of those pieces. All right, so what I wanted to do is one of the movements that was described here in the cards that I had chosen. Resistance had us turning. We did that already in the opening of Lok Hup. And then we had Poise, which we did a little bit in Sabre, but we also did it with where we put the pauses into things. How everything has that moment where you stop. Okay, so we're going to go to perspective, which on this one is low punch. Guard against a narrow perspective, so suppress your negativity. Open up, what are the possibilities? Think about other ways it can be done, new ways of doing things. Okay, so since we're in a place of everything's changing, this is giving us perspective. So our perspective, we were doing push needle to sea bottom. That picture is low punch, which also has a spiral action that goes with it. But what I'd like to do is push needle to sea bottom into fan penetrates back. And I'm just going to bring you back to the idea of pushing the needle to sea bottom means taking the golden pill, all that is possible, taking your one gift, focusing on your one gift, and then fan penetrates the back is share your gift with others. And that's where Tai Chi is given out, and we do it so that we can share with others. Okay, so let's go back to that. So we're back in the Tai Chi set. You're standing on the right foot, planting the left, very similar to Lok Hup, okay? And your right hand is going to go towards the floor, left hand is going to go around the wrist, and you've got falling down into the foot, push into the foot. Let the palms face each other, sink, place the left foot, and let everything pop open. So we did that already today. So now what I'm going to do is bring that belly back to the right. The arms change places. Left toe turns. Now the left hand is up, and then you're going to sink to open the spine. And now you're on your left foot, and your left foot is going to ring out by spiraling to make the turn, pull, all the way around. So we have this change that comes through the arm, comes through the spine, sink, and then that sink, you're going to wring it out, spiraling it forward. Okay, one last time. I gave you a lot to think about today. Hopefully we got some good flow happening through all the systems. So push needle to sea bottom, you're on your right foot. Push into the foot. Sink. Step and push. Comes back. Sink into your right. Turn. Drop the spine, sink into your left. And this is a chop. This is going to come out to finish. Okay. Awesome. So, finishing with flow. Let's do cooks hookups. Because we can. Crossing right over left, right over left. Take a nice deep breath. So, today, if there's anywhere that there's a block that you're noticing, figure out what is around you in that block that you might not be looking at. So you've been trying to push in one direction, maybe you need to go a different. And just the way that you can create the flow. It might even just be you need to put a tiny little pinhole in to start the flow off, and then all of a sudden the beaver dam lets go, and there's your flow. All right, I wasn't frozen. I was taking a nice deep breath. Feet go together, fingertips go together. Tongue goes to the roof of the mouth. Okay, as I talked about at the beginning today, if you want to join in with the global meditation that is happening for the changing of the power of the planets tonight, then, please check in. I did post it on the Key to Health on the Facebook page. So if you wanted to see, there's a little video if you want to know a little bit more. And otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Saturday. All right, thanks for being here. And since I can't send hearts up in front of everybody, I'll just tell you I'm sending hearts up in front of all of you. Take care.